morning, and welcome to Rising. We have a great show for you today, and I do mean great. I actually particularly like the topics for the day, and I am in an unusually great mood. So
Ooh, I love that. Okay, well,
we'll see how long it lasts.
I have two things to say.
Okay.
One, I must give a shout out to my daughter and her two best friends.
Aw.
They asked me to do this on TV today and tell them, Kinsley, Ayana, and Zoe, good morning to you guys.
Good morning.
And second, your hair looks really nice.
Oh, thank you.
I love this. Tell me about this haircut. This is new. I mean, you don't switch it up too much, but this feels different. Yeah, am I?
It's more or less.
It's shorter?
Well, it's shorter than usual.
Yes, okay.
You look nice, too.
Oh, thank you. I don't look like comfortable like last time
I
my
think
velvet.
we're kind of doing green and blue, so
Okay, we match.
you win in that
I know you love matching.
description.
Besties. Well, coming up on Rising, tensions over Greenland appear to be rising as President Trump is threatening to impose tariffs on Europe if a deal doesn't get done soon, and the EU considering a so-called bazooka option of their own.
Plus, the DOJ is putting former CNN anchor Don Lemon, quote, on notice after he appeared to enter the church subject to an anti-ICE protest and covered the incident, and perhaps that's why I'm in such a good mood.
Oh, man. And new polling shows that a staggeringly small number of Americans are satisfied with the amounts of Epstein files released so far. But first, Robby, what is in your radar?
Well, mainstream media mouthpiece Kara Swisher, a journalist known for extremely negative and hostile coverage of tech figures like Elon Musk and others, is really, really mad that the billionaires of Silicon Valley have figured out one neat trick to avoid paying California's proposed massive wealth tax. They're simply going to leave the state. And I, for one, find it amusing that Peter Thiel, Sergey Brin, David Sachs, Larry Page so easily foiled the Democrats' plot to confiscate 5% of their wealth. But Swisher, she's furious. Here she was raging at the billionaires and claiming they owe it to the state of California to submit and personally pay off the state's considerable debts. Take a look.
I have of two minds of this. One is you made and I said it to one this weekend. I said, you made all your money in California, you ingrateful piece of shit. You could figure out a way to pay more taxes, and we deserve the taxes from you, given you made your wealth here. The second thing is, yes, there are different ways to do this, but the length of time it would take and the kind of vehemence you would fight whatever happens means nothing would happen. So why don't we just do shock and awe at this point? Because you don't seem to be, availing yourself to thinking that you owe your state something more, which they don't think that at all.
We deserve the taxes from you. That's what Swisher thinks. My question, who is we? I feel differently than her, and I expect most people watching this do as well. Let's state our values plainly. See if you agree. No one is entitled to the fruits of another person's labors. No one deserves someone else's money. No one who earned their fortune legitimately through their own hard work should be morally or legally or philosophically obligated to fork it over to the state. That doesn't mean the wealthy should pay zero taxes. Of course, the government needs to collect some tax revenue to pay for the upkeep of the things it owns, roads, parks, etc., and to maintain the services that are the rightful purview of the state, courts, police, fire, and so on. We also accept in modern society that we don't want the needy and the infirm and the elderly to starve or to go without medical care, and so we have broadly agreed as a society that the rich will pay, frankly, more than their fair share in order to provide for the welfare of the less fortunate to varying degrees, and we debate those all the time. But when a state grossly mismanages its own funds, despite taking in $270 billion a year in tax revenue, it's not the responsibility of people who already cough up billions of dollars to come to California's rescue. Swisher has the relationship between California and the tech entrepreneurs backwards. It is not California that has made the tech sector great, it is the tech sector that has made California great. The state has benefited from their wealth, from the successful companies that they've started, from the people they've employed, from the technology they've created. Yes, it's a nice place to live. The weather's pretty great. I've been there. But the weather's nice in Florida too, and the regulatory policies, I think, are even nicer. I think deep down that's what really annoys the Kara Swishers of the world, the revelation that under the capitalist system, successful people don't need the government to help them, they just need it to leave them alone. The European Union is obsessed with strangling its tech sector in the crib, and so they have no major successful tech companies to speak of in Europe. Just leave business alone, and you get huge success and riches. And then sure, you can use some of that money, you can take it and fund public projects and also take care of the poor. But you can't simultaneously demonize the wealthy and then expect them to bail out a bankrupt state. But for the progressive left, it's taken as a fact that you didn't build that. The government did. Remember when President Obama confessed that this was his entire outlook?
Somebody helped to create this unbelievable American system that we had that allowed you to thrive. Somebody invested in roads and bridges. If you got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen.
Sorry, Kara Swisher, you didn't build that. Elon Musk did. David Sachs did. Larry Page did. And if you want to confiscate even more of their wealth, then they will build it somewhere else. Somewhere I suspect the Republicans are in charge.
Listen, I'm pro-business.
I know you are. That's something I like about you. You're a businesswoman yourself.
Thank you. And I'm more on the side of Gavin Newsom here, Governor Gavin Newsom, as opposed to like Ro Khanna. I know that he is pushing this forward. I think that we shouldn't penalize people for getting to the top of this American dream, right? We are telling people you can do it, you can become anything, you can become a billionaire here, but then you're getting taxed in a state that's already heavily taxed.
Kara Swisher hates them. She holds them in
I understand.
contempt.
Her,
she
Elizabeth Warren, a lot of people.
Contempt.
I don't think wealthy people are saying don't change the rules altogether. I think they're saying don't change retroactively taxing me and start to really make me comb through all my finances.
It's desperate.
Uncomfortable.
It's looking at the state, looking at its balance sheet, figuring it's screwed and frantic. What can we do? What can we do? Okay, we can take more money from them. It's not well thought out.
But even though I support entrepreneurship, I think like sometimes the wealthiest Americans, you know this, Robby, they pay a lower effective tax rate than people that are middle class, like nurses and, regular people. And so I think in California, specifically when so much wealth has been built in the tech center, people could do better to pay their fair share. And we know that every wealthy person finds a way around it. We heard the old stories of offshore accounts and finding ways to not pay taxes, giving to charity, doing whatever you want to write off all these expenses so you just get the money right back. But I think if you don't want the 5% wealth tax, I was trying to figure out what else can you do? Because I'm not on the side of people who have regular 9-to-5s and are middle class pay more of the effective tax rate than wealthy people. I do think they should pay their share, even though it's a lot more money of what they're paying, and people in middle class should not be paying higher. So we could try to equalize those capital gains taxes so that they're paying the same amount as ordinary income holders, right? That's one thing. We could end the step-up basis loophole that I saw, which allows inherited wealth to not be taxed entirely at all. And so this is, again, if you're just passing on to your dad's company and he's a billionaire and you become a billionaire by default, okay, you've inherited that. You can pay your fair share of taxes as a new owner of that business, right? Aren't these different ways that in California, as the rich continue to keep their family lineage rich for decades, that they can continue to give back without avoiding a lot of these loopholes that rich people tend to avoid? I mean, we can figure out how to balance it. They're trying to take care of social services in California, which is important. You said we have an obligation to take care of our elderly.
It's not all social services, though. Sometimes it's the pensions of employees, of state employees. The people pushing this wealth tax, it's government unions. It's not, the union for some private company where it's the auto manufacturer and the employees of the factory are unionized to make sure the conditions are not, unsafe for them. Okay, I understand unions. These are people protecting pension systems and employee benefit systems that no longer exist in the private sector because they're too exorbitant. They're from a time period where you retired at 65 and then you died at 75. People live a lot longer, and that's great, but we now have to take care of people longer and longer and longer. Doesn't make sense. Propping up a system that the private employees, it's better than what private employees have. That's what it goes into. Those kinds of benefits for government employees, many of whom I believe positions could be eliminated in the first place. So that's what, it's not that people are going to go hungry on the streets. It's that, there are going to be fewer protections for teachers' unions or police unions. If you're of a liberal, you can be upset about that too.
I mean, a lot of people in California, not a lot of people, they've tried this before. In 2003, 2004, they tried to pass something similar and it failed. And so I don't know that this is going to go through. I think it's causing a lot of ruckus. But if you see people already moving, I think that should be a sign and indication for California that's a problem. But Gavin Newsom has been clear that he thinks people are leaving other states in droves as well. He's pointed that out on podcasts recently. So he said, don't just pick on California, even though they're doing this.
But I love doing it. Well, I'm not picking on the state. I feel bad for the people who live there.
Coming up on Rising, tensions between the U.S. and Europe over Greenland seem to be heating up. We'll be right back after this.